feel like there's a general conception of people getting confused the term nice guy versus a gentleman. And while I have no quarrel with either of them, there is a distinct difference in them both that I feel like people get confused and decide they're going to label you in whatever they feel like they consider you to be just based off of the characteristics that you see. Now, a gentleman, I feel like sure he's polite, please and thank you, stuff like that. He might hold the door for somebody and stuff like that, but it's kind of similar to a nice guy in a way. But I feel like even with the old tale saying nice guys finish last, you kind of get that aspect of, yeah, nice guys finish last. And so with that being said, the nice guy is always the one people walk all over. They treat like he's nothing else. Like they could just do whatever they want to, say whatever they want to this person, and he'll just take it, and everything will be okay, and he'll be fine. And it's like, no, I'm not a nice guy, and we need to just nip that in the bud, because it gets to a point where even as people would even consider themselves nice guys, we have to now refer ourselves to only being gentlemen, because we got to stand up for ourselves. And I am tired of being in these positions and situations and coming out of like certain debates or debacles of me just being in like, oh yeah, just that's how he, like, people feel like that's how he needs to be treated, just because of like they just see that and like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy, so that's how you treat him, like he's a nice guy. And it even goes into the aspect of it, the nice guy trait can go in so many variations of, like, when you're talking to a young lady or a girl and stuff like that, they only see you as that nice guy, and that even in of itself puts you in a position where she won't even want to deal with you, because she don't feel like you're going to be able to step up and handle yourself like you're supposed to. And that goes in all other aspects of when you interact with somebody or whatever, disagreements and whatever power that the person holds, we sit in there, we always turn the other cheek. They say you're supposed to turn the other cheek and be nice and stuff like, and that's fine. Like, I'm not saying be violent and aggressive with your opposite individuals and stuff like that, but what I will say is this, like, we, especially men in particular, because like, there's some nice young ladies too. It's just the nice persona. He's nice, and we need to stop this, nip it in the bud, stand up for ourselves. I'm no longer allowing people to just act a certain way and talk to me a certain kind of way, treat me a certain kind of way. It don't matter. Certain situations, certain like concepts and stuff, like I can understand, like, okay, misunderstandings happen, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying like, okay, I'm gonna just wow out, curse people out and start attacking people stuff. No, but I'm gonna stand up for myself. And it even gets to the point of like, even when if I talk to somebody, regardless who it is, customer, friend, family, it's to a point where it's a certain way you gotta assert yourself and address certain things and talk about certain things, and not just being like every situation and scenario just like, oh, okay, I got you, no worry. It's like I've throughout my life, I feel like I've been the type to always apologize, even if apology was not needed, or if you're apologizing for a situation as a whole is incorrect. I feel like we should be apologizing for what was done in particular, that we feel like, okay, this makes the most sense for me to apologize for. Like, I had a situation where I think it was just the way I phrased my words, basically, and so I can apologize for that, but I will not apologize for the context that they hold, the power that they hold. Because sure, wording your stuff a certain way makes a huge difference. That's why they say, like, when you send messages, text messages, people misconstrue messages and stuff into thinking one thing versus another, because it's just words. You just see words. So a certain way you word certain things make a huge difference. You could say the word F you and somebody be like, is he cursing me out? But you could be like laughing and joking. If you don't add an additional emoji or stuff like that, the words that's just plain as day. So certain ways that you phrase words, even in text message, can be misconstrued just off of misunderstandings. And you be like, that's not even my intention. So apologizing for the way I phrase words is fine. But I will no longer apologize for just everything if that wasn't what was meant to happen. Because everything happens for a reason. And if I'm sitting there just apologize, oh my bad, I didn't mean to. Let's stop saying my bad and I'm sorry. My apologies is the new phrase that needs to be said, because it's nothing wrong with me. It wasn't my bad or anything like that, and I'm not sorry for anything. An apology is more appropriate, and that's where it's going to be. But I'm no longer going to be in this position of just people going to just keep treating me just like any old kind of way, and that whole nice guy persona is just like, oh yeah, so no, we got it even to ourselves. Even if we don't think we're nice guys, it's like we adopt that kind of feeling, and that we adopt that kind of thing. Like, yeah, like we don't even have to consciously say it. The subconscious of just acting like a nice guy. We need to stop that, or nice female in general, or whatever you identify with. Like, we just stop that, nip it in the bud. So, no longer. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care what you're going through, because the thing is, in certain situations and stuff, and as individuals, we will sit there and we're so concerned for other people. We're so like, I hope this person's okay, checking on people, stuff like that. One, no one checks on us. Two, we don't even check on ourselves. We're so concerned on others, we don't even make sure we're okay. And it's time for self-love, self-perseverance, and motivation, and so on and so forth. Just stuff that involves ourselves before anybody else. And I would no longer be just everybody else okay and then I'm not okay. Like, no one cares about you. Nobody cares about you. If you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day, right? And I always sit there and I preach this, especially to the customers and other points. Like, I never understand like having a bad day and you take your anger out on somebody else. Like, you would never know if I'm having a bad day. You should never be, I'm throwing the customer groceries, I'm upset, or I'm talking to, you should never know I'm having a bad day. But a customer will come in and they would sit there and they take their bad day out on you. I know people are like, oh, that's a normal Tuesday and stuff, but that's dumb. It should be no excuse, because the customer that's having whatever bad day they don't know what I'm going through, and they can't sit there and say like their day is worse because they don't know what I'm going through. What if the day that's, because like, even like, I know like the holidays coming up, stuff like that, people stress over the holidays. Okay, fine. What if they're just stressed because, they're just trying to make sure everything is together for the holidays, they got all their stuff, they're just a little nervous and stuff, trying to make sure everything is together and stuff, and it's just a holiday thing, right? What if that's their only stress and everything else is perfect in their life, but then because of that stress, they just got upset with you because the line was something stupid, right? What if that's their situation, but mine is, I had a death in the family. It's been a stressful 2 to 3 weeks for me because it's been busy, short staff, dealing with you as a customer. Like, it's like everything is on me like tenfold. It's so much more on employees and like people who work at these 9-to-5 jobs that customers don't understand. They act like they never done it themselves either. So I think it's just interesting that you think whatever you're going through is more important than what I'm going through, and me not taking any of my frustration or anger out on you or anybody else is totally justified. But you taking your anger out and stuff like that is equally justified. No. Whatever power we have, like, especially because I'm a manager, first of all, if you work at these 9-to-5 jobs and you're sitting there and you're taking customers and so on and so forth, and it's like, okay, I took a customer, right? And if there's an altercation or situation, disrespect, I feel like, especially if you're a manager, even as an associate, I refuse to ring them up or any other service, because no longer taking any disrespect. No longer taking any disrespect. I don't care what you're going through, because I'm going through something too. And that's not to say I don't care exactly what you're going through. I just don't care to the point of you feel like you can treat me in any kind of way, and I can sit there and be like, oh, that's just a regular Tuesday for him, but for me, dealing with something, and because we're always dealing with stuff as individuals, so it's no excuse. And sometimes, like, I get some situations like, okay, it's not that bad, and in some situations, like I said, what if you had a death in the family, whatever, you're trying to cope, trying to relax and stuff, whatever the case is, or just a stressful day. This person, like I said, their stressful day is different than my stressful day. They could just be worrying about making sure they got everything for Thanksgiving. I'm having a stressful day because it's busy and we're short staffed. That's a completely two different stressful days. So if you're coming in there and you're taking it, no. I will no longer take any kind of like abuse from that kind of situations. And I feel like even as like the last few days, it's just been like even the last few weeks, like everybody's been chaotic and stuff like that. Last few days and stuff is crazy and stuff. And then like it's just like a back to back situation of people, like just stuff going on and people just frustrated and irritated and attacking each other, and you're no longer No longer. I'd give no freaks. I'm trying my best not to curse too, but I give no freaks about anything that you're going through if you care less about what I'm going through. And that's the bottom line. So we changing it up. It's no new year, new me, all that stuff. Like, we as individuals need to just start making changes within ourselves and being aggressive and letting people know and just standing up for yourselves, like right then and there. Just because at some point, it's always so much a person could take before they snap. If I hear about crazy stories and stuff, people just like wowing out or snapping out and stuff. It's like, you don't know. And for me to be so humble and patient with people and stuff, even after they sit there and be abusive or disrespectful and stuff, no longer, no, but not anymore. So it's a whole different ball game now. I'm tired of the BS, and I'm tired of situations. Whatever power that I hold in certain capacities will be utilized in that way. Even if it can't happen right away, I'll find my ways. I'm tired, because everybody would just feel like they could just act a certain way, talk a certain kind of way, treat you a certain kind of way, and I'm done with it. I'm done. It's crazy. So yeah, it's a lot, mostly a rant, but yeah, we gotta sit there and not allow things to just happen for the sake of it happening. Like, I can't. But yeah, let me continue. Get myself, I think I'm pretty much ready. I'm about to just head to work, and yeah, I'll catch you guys. I'll probably, maybe later on, depending on what time I get out, I'll probably just do like a Yasha video, stuff like that. I'll have some gameplay videos coming up. I'll probably rotate those on the I'll probably do like gameplay later on in the day, maybe reaction videos at a certain time, either in the evening or earlier in the morning, depending on my schedule, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, other than that, man, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. And yeah, you guys, we got to stand up for ourselves, man. Times is coming, and it's time for people who are labeled as nice guy or a nice girl to just, like, we just need to stop that whole he's a nice guy kind of mentality. There's a difference, and I will no longer tolerate disrespect. But that's the thing too, especially even if you consider somebody being a nice guy, you change that person over time with the abuse and disrespect and all the other stuff that corresponds with the interactions that you do, and decide to continue to push on to that person on the forefront, just for what reason? Just because, like I said, you're having a bad day. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you, man. Peace out.